Hey everybody, it's PartyElite, and today we're kicking off a Let's Play in 2 Point Campus, a game I've been excited for a very long time, and thanks to the developer sending me an early access key, I'm finally able to dive into it. The plan with this Let's Play right now is to have an episode release every day until the game itself releases next week, and then after that we'll find a nice spot for it in our schedule and continue playing it to completion based on how interested y'all are. Now, on that topic, if you're interested in seeing this game on the channel, don't hesitate to let me know by leaving those likes and comments down below. As always, they make a huge difference in letting me know what people want to see on the channel and what I should do and how I should go about doing it. There are a lot of great opportunities in this game to integrate, like naming and stuff like that, with wings and dorms and stuff all needing names, with students and teachers alike being able to get names and nicknames as well. So I'm very excited to dive into all that and see how we can all get involved and make the most wonderful universities that 2 Point has ever seen, hopefully. I have played a little bit of the game already, but we're going to be starting a fresh save. The first couple of levels are a little sort of tutorial-sided to start with, and then they become a bit more open-ended, and you can see how many, basically, stars you score based on how well you complete them, and I wanted to make sure I was familiar with the game before I dove into it with this series, so that's why you can see the continue button here, but I've not gone too far into the game, because I wanted to explore and discover a lot of it together with you. So with that said, why don't we hit that new game button and kick things off. Alright, I feel like that was a decent preview of everything that's coming as we unlock more and more courses. You saw a bit of night school, some wizardry, we got robotics. There's all kinds of hijinks we're going to be getting up to. So of course, yes, this game does have a sense of humor, but it also has some serious management, game systems, and mechanics in place, which is a beautiful blend that I've loved since I was extremely young, and I love to date. We've seen genres like this in the past, and I'm glad to see it live on. Now, we're largely going to ignore Albert Crank over here, making him probably a little cranky, but truth be told, he's going to be giving us tutorial advice that we don't really need to pay attention to. Again, I've played a few of the early levels, so I'm familiar with the game, and I think it's better off, rather than reading all those lines of text as nicely written as they are, I think we're better off just having me explain what I'm doing as I get into it, but you know, if you don't agree with that, let me know, of course, down below. As I was saying, though, these first few levels have a bit of a tutorial slant to them, but that's only at the beginning of each level. So, for example, as we dive into Freshleigh Meadows over here, at first it'll teach us a couple of basics, and then it'll let us go free as we try to earn those 3 stars. So it's not like they're full tutorial levels, and I like that blend, because there is still a bit of a challenge. There are still objectives we have to hit, and they're not, you know, the easiest to hit, though, of course, they get increasingly difficult as we go on. Before we talk about this campus, though, we have to talk about our institution. Of course, the administrator's name is PartyElite, but the institution itself will be called University of Party. Let's make sure I spelled that correctly. It would be horribly embarrassing for a university to spell its own name incorrectly. University of Party, yes indeed. We like to shorten it to U-Party here at the Institute. And this name is actually the result of a lot more thinking than I'm proud to admit. Party, that capital P-A-R-T-Y, does in fact stand for something that does make sense in the context of the game. I would love to know what you think it stands for. It's for me to know and for you to guess until a later episode when I'll finally reveal it, but I was very excited to actually be able to come up with something that worked with Party. So, University of Party, or as I said, U-Party is here to change the education landscape at 2 Point. With that said, let's go ahead and dive into Freshleigh Meadows. Again, tackle some of those initial tutorial bits credits and then get into the challenge of acquiring those 3 stars, which is what I think I'm going to try and do for each and every level, unless they become arduous. And we'll tackle those conversations as they come up. My experience so far has been free of that feeling, but I'll see again how y'all feel and how we feel going further and further. Now, this countryside college has low expectations and a nice canal. It's the perfect place to start your career. So, why don't we?
A university is not something that one simply opens, like a savings account or a jar of pickles. Any self-respecting academic institution was doubtlessly opened long ago by dignified people who wore bowler hats and spoke via subtitle. The world is a creation of the past, and it is our job to keep it all going and try not to touch anything.
I love the narrator. He is exquisitely written and voice acted. I do love him. But the first day of school is here. Welcome to Freshleigh Meadows, where life moves slowly and expectations are lowly. The 2 Point countryside is the perfect place to start your career, learn the ropes, make mistakes, and hit the ground smiling. All right, let's dive on in. First order of business is going to be some basic stuff from Albert Crank over here, teaching us how to work the camera. Of course, we're, gonna just rush through this real quick. And I do want to say, as I do this, yes, I have played this level to completion, but everything I'm going to do in this playthrough is still going to be a fresh approach. So it's not like I know exactly what I'm doing. There are still going to be some surprises and hurdles, even in the levels I've completed before. And of course, there are a bunch more levels that I haven't even seen, so those will be even more challenging. All right, our campus is going to be running a scientography course. Let's start by building a science lab. Yes. So first things first is to build a science lab, says the game, but instead I'm actually going to change things up. I want to move this central building over here, or central room, I should call it. It is the lecture theater almost all courses, I believe, eventually include lectures, and this is very commonly used across multiple courses, but I don't like it being so centrally positioned, so we're actually going to just pick that up and scooch it over to the corner over here. Will it fit nicely? Will it fit like this? Nah, it's just a little too wide for that. We could adjust it, but I like its overall look. Let's pop you down over here. Wasted a couple windows there. Maybe let's pop you down like this so those windows aren't a complete waste. Oh, I hate that little corner that's being left there, but you know what? I'll deal. I'll make it work. Let's pop you down like this. Yeah, sounds good to me. Fix invalid items because I don't have the door because the door is over here. Where is my door? Let's go ahead and pick you up and pop you down over here so the lecturer can always see you sneaking in if you're sneaking in late. And let's move this one. I don't necessarily need a second door, I don't think, so we'll just get rid of that one and leave it at that. Okay, excellent. I have a reason for leaving this gap over here. I have a plan for it, or you know what? Actually, let's go ahead and adjust this a little bit more. Shift you over, and pull you over as well. And I might actually, I think I lied. I think I am going to adjust the size of this thing. Go ahead and reduce this a little bit, and I'll explain why in a moment when it becomes a bit more relevant. There we go. Thank you very much. I would like to shift this back as well, please. There we go. And put the door back over there. Sweet. That'll work nicely. All right. All done there. Now let's actually build the science lab we've been asked to build. Again, we don't have all the rooms unlocked or anything, and that's pretty self-evident. I think unlocking is a very interesting set of mechanics in this game, and I'll explain more as we get into it. Now, when we build a room, there are a couple of factors to consider. One of those is, of course, the size of the room. Every kind of room has its minimum size, you can see listed over here, so the science lab has to be at least 5 by 5, but there are multiple items that go into each room, and depending on how many items you have in the room, that prestige bar up over here goes higher or lower, and the more prestigious a room is, the more prestigious your university is, and some of those items actually have a direct effect on how good the quality of education is in that room as well, for all the courses being held in that room. So why don't we go ahead and make this 7 by 7 instead, so quite large, but we do have a fair bit of space to play with, so I think 7 by 7 should be okay. And if we run out of space here, we have more plots we can unlock too. So if we run out of room, well, I don't think we will. There's plenty of it, and we can also, reclaim the outdoors if we need to. Though I do like the garden spaces. We are able to build more campus buildings ourselves if we want to. By the way, let's get back on track over here. I'm going to go ahead and put the entrance to this room over here, I think, because I'm hoping to have the dorms and stuff over here or potentially over here. We'll see. But I'd like to keep everything contained and close so our students don't have to travel too far to actually get get to their courses and stuff like that, because they can miss classes, they can fail classes. It's not just like, anything goes. There are rules to this game. Let's go ahead and put some of these required items down, pop you down up over here, sure, in the corner there. And this is the main item. This is where all the action happens, I suppose, where a lot of the learning happens. Let's pop you down, not to downplay the whiteboards, but this is where a lot of the fun animations happen. Pop you down over here. And again, that's enough to get the room started, but it's not enough to make us happy. Again, the administrator's last name is Elite, and we're going to be running a rather elite level university across the board. So why don't we go ahead and put down a whiteboard, drop this over here, and you can see how that helps the prestige grow a little bit. And as we build more and more rooms and do a better job of making them more impressive, we'll also earn campus levels. And I'll explain what campus levels, sorry, I can't speak apparently. I'll explain what they do as, again, they become relevant. I just want to sort of give a nod at all the mechanics I'm engaging with, and then I'll explain them as they become directly, sort of involved with our playthrough. Let's put this science shelf down as well, unquestionably flammable. Let's pop you down over here. And you might be thinking, well, this room is way too big. It could have been a lot smaller. You're right, but again, prestige matters, and the size of the room also determines how many students can actually attend. Let's go ahead and pop you down. Decent job there. Go ahead and accept that rather expensive science lab, but I think it'll be worth it. I think it'll be worth it. We do need to hire a teacher to run that class as well, and you may have noticed that we are able to rename our labs, we're able to rename our lecture rooms, our dorms, and everything. So as we go further and further, as each level takes more than one episode, I'm going to turn to you to help me sort of name various wings. If you want to sponsor a wing or a room or something like that, we'll figure something out when the opportunity comes. But let's go ahead and get ourselves Lance Binge is too good. Both these names are excellent. But you know what, Lance Binge, let's go ahead and pick you up. Weak Bladder, toilet comfort decreases faster than most versus Archie Sofa. Oh, you know what? Okay. I lied. It's going to be Archie Sofa. Squeaky Clean gives him excellent personal hygiene. He has bin blindness, so he does drop litter, which is unfortunate, but hopefully that balances out compared to having to rush to the washroom every so often. Hire you, pop you in there. Of course, we have to maintain their salary and everything. We're not going to give them any raises or anything just quite yet. I don't think it's... where are we? I don't think it's necessary. Ooh, in fact, looks like in the first level you can't even... Oh, no, there we are. I just missed it. I don't want to adjust salaries and wages just quite yet. That's something we'll get into as we get into the more complicated levels, I think, but just wanted to show that the option is there. We have everything we need for our scientography course. Excellent. Can I not actually build anything else? I can get another lecture theater down. Interesting. No other options. Okay. Well, what I was hoping to do, I guess it wouldn't be an option this first level anyway, so tough luck for us, I suppose. I was hoping to get our campus level to get a little bit higher and higher to acquire what's called course points, which would allow us to actually upgrade the courses we deliver. But you know what? We'll get into that later. For now, let's go ahead and start the next year. And you'll notice right as we do that, the UI changes a little bit, and we actually have our year, our school year laid out in front of us. And if we take a look at our calendar here, we actually see which rooms are being used at what time for what courses. Obviously, this gets a lot more packed in later levels as things get busier and busier. The students are arriving on campus. You're nervous? Relax. It'll be fine. It'll be a-okay. Now, students all, of course, have their own demands and needs. This is Archie Sofa, very much not a student, I should hope, though you do get to train your teachers later as well. But let's take a look at Tessamania over here. You can see we have happiness to concern ourselves with. We have various traits that determine how they behave and what kind of trouble they might get up to. And feelings, again, of course, change various factors that might lean into their happiness or how they socialize and things like that. In terms of happiness, we've got all these needs, environment and lifestyle, as well as just general feelings that will impact their happiness, and their happiness will have a direct impact on their learning rate. And learning rate will determine how quickly they actually level up through the courses and how quickly they gain XP. You'll see that ring fill up with XP gain. Every time it fills, they gain a level. And as they gain XP, we'll actually make more money. And you'll see that pop up with the XP bonus there. So we want to make sure people are happy, so they're getting their education faster, so they're performing better, getting better grades, and making our university that much more prestigious.
See what I did there?
For just like the awards that happen at the end of the school year and all that. But we want to make sure that, again, everyone's got all their needs met. We want to make sure the environments they're working in and the prestige of these rooms they're working in or studying in are high enough to keep them happy as they're studying, because the learning rate will change over time. So important considerations. And of course over here we have some further details about what kind of who they're friends with, what kind of relationships they're in, if they're in any clubs and things like that. Let's go ahead and close this for now, I think. Oh yeah, of course, details about course fees and all. We'll get into that when they become more involved mechanics too. As students learn, they gain it. Yeah, right. We just talked about all that, but we're waiting for this scientography class to complete. We can actually speed time up, but I think it's nice to observe some of these animations. They clearly put a lot of work into them. They're really quite nice animations. And as we watch that, just want to point out again, you can see tuition fees obviously coming from all of the students, and that's something you can adjust down the line. Rent becomes relevant when you have dorms for students to stay in, which will be in just a moment. And then there's the XP bonus that I was talking about again. When they learn, as they learn and gain XP, you earn money for how well they're being taught. It's a very clever way to make sure that you're actually, teaching students to make money, though there are ways to make money without actually teaching students, something a lot of universities are very familiar with. Apart from that, though, of course, our only negative right now is staff wages, but later on other things get involved as well, including, bank loans. If we fall into desperate times, we are able to take loans and things like that, but again, cross that bridge when we get there, or hopefully we never get there. At most a C+, they did it. The students passed their first class. Sadly, they didn't do all that well. It seems a number of them were distracted by one need or the other. So again, this is just talking about needing to keep students actually happy so that they're learning better. They're not getting C's and D's and F's. Yes, people can fail, but instead are getting A's and A pluses and making your university look good. So student needs, such as their thirst or toilet comfort, will affect their overall happiness. Happy students perform better in classes and earn more XP. So I want to go ahead and take a look at Buddy over here. And we can see, remember the 3 R's, right? Relax, rest, and relieve. It only kind of works. Sure, 2 of those might be the same thing, but it does sound convincing. Indeed, it does. So let's build a dormitory and a bathroom. Let's do that indeed. So again, like I said, the dorm is right around the corner, and here it is. Where do I actually want to place the dorm? Ideally, let's go ahead and pause for a second over here, because the as you can see, time keeps moving forward. These blue bars indicate active classes, and our students get busy. So what we really want to do is make sure they're happy before those classes start, so they're actually learning at their best possible learning rate. So I know where I want to put the bathroom, and the bathroom I want to put over here, and that's why I was really fiddling with this earlier. It needs to be at least 2 wide. It can be 2 by 1, but what we're going to do is we're actually going to extend it like this. Go ahead and put the door down over here. And the reason why we extended it is because, of course, the washrooms are cubicles or stalls. Are they really called cubicles? I've never heard the term toilet cubicle. I've only heard stall. Anyway, we can go ahead and put down a few of these. So let's go in 1 and 2 and 3, and in fact 4, because people will line up to use them, and then they'll get delayed. They might end up missing classes, or what I've typically seen is they end up going to class despite really having to use the washroom, and they end up not doing so well. So we want to make sure that the lineups and stuff are minimized. We also want to go ahead and get a couple of sinks in, because everybody should be washing their hands as well. Let's go ahead and put in 1, 2, 3, and you can see again the prestige is going up as well. And you might be wondering, why do we need a prestigious washroom? Well, because it weighs in on the value of your university, how prestigious it is, and it also affects student happiness, as we saw earlier. So let's get some dryers in here as well. I think a couple dryers should do the trick, and perhaps some hand sanitizer for on the way out. Sure, decent for a washroom, I would say. Go ahead and accept that. We have, I think, more than enough money to play with. I think we'll be okay on that front. So this should be close enough to their lecture hall and to this room as well, so that they're able to use the washroom quickly before having to go to class, ideally. And I actually do want to add a couple of items to this room as well. Let's go ahead and get the the hand sanitizer down over here on the way in, on the way out, because while we'll get access to showers later, the hand sanitizer, unfortunately, or perhaps fortunately, also counts as a shower as far as hygiene levels are concerned. So, not in real life, just to be clear. Not in real life, but in the game, it helps hygiene all the same. So just putting those down to help with prestige, attractiveness. I don't think it actually helps the attractiveness, but it helps with hygiene when people use it. So might as well have those in place, right? So little digression there. Let's go ahead and build that dorm. It wouldn't be terrible to have the dorm close to the washroom as well. Let's go ahead and put the dorm up over here. That's not too far away. Kind of a central location for other classes as well as the library we'll be building eventually. But yes, the dormitory. Now, dorms are interesting. As I was saying, you can make money off students without actually educating them if you wanted to. I mean, they'd leave, but they pay rent, as I was pointing out over here. And the more prestigious a dorm is, the more they'll pay in rent. One of the funny things is that one bed can be shared among 5 students. So it's not like you need one bed for each student. So you can, have a little fun with math there. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and build maybe 2 dorms. I think one is a little strange for me. I'm not going to make them like barracks, as tempting as it might be. Or you know what, we could make multiple. You can see the prestige difference it makes to get that much larger. You know what? All right, for this, let's start with a 5x7. I don't know how I feel about this dorm already. It's gonna be quite a shared dorm. We have a couple of options for beds. We can also customize them a little bit if we want to change what the sheets look like. I'm going to go ahead and go with the black frame bed, and I do like this classic blue wavy look. So why don't we go ahead and drop a few of these beds down. Again, we don't need too many. We don't have that many students. But let's put down, let's say 1, and again, you can see it affects prestige, right? 2, yeah, sure, 4, 3, and 4. That'll do the trick. And let's go ahead and get a couple of wardrobes in as well, necessary to complete the room, and everything else is extra. Again, students will line up to use the wardrobe if they need to get something from it. So we'll put a pair down, each one shared. And then there are these extras as well. They will help with prestige. I don't think they actually have effects beyond that. Like, I know it says burn the midnight oil here, but I don't think the desk is actually used for anything. Same goes for the, actually this increases attractiveness, the dorm notice board. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure about some of these things, though at times the game does surprise you. Something without a description becomes immediately necessary because students need access to an item that doesn't actually list anything. So I like that. I like that it surprises you in that way, that you're not just pre-prepped. I think it's a nice way to go about doing it. Let's go ahead and get the hand sanitizer down as well, close to the entrance. A couple of plants, and why don't we go ahead and, well, just to show you can actually get a different base as well if you want. Yeah, I quite like the square. Let's go ahead and pop you down there and you down there. Now, you might be wondering, why don't I put 50 plants down? It's because there is a limit. Or rather, there's diminishing returns, I should say, to the same item being placed multiple times, as you can see already happening. So you want to be careful about that, for sure. I think we're all good over here. That's a pretty nice dorm, I would say. Let's go ahead and hit that check mark. And as we select Dormitory 1 and unlock the shower room, again, something we'll get into shortly, you can see over here, because of the prestige and also the environment in general, we are... I guess it's because no one's living here yet. Accommodation rating should be rather high, and rent per year should be rather high too. But we'll see. Maybe it's because it's level 1 and the game sees what I'm doing. Maybe it's because we're paused. Yes, it's because we're paused. Look at that rent. Oh my goodness. I wasn't trying to make it that expensive, but wow. All right, we've got an amazing accommodation, and so 25K per annum is not bad. I'll take it. And again, we can rename these dorms and stuff as well, but we'll get into that when we get into it. Our students might be hungry. Indeed. Traditionally, campuses offer a range of food and drink, but let's get some vending machines instead. A cheesy gubbins machine and a burp machine. Let's go ahead and get the cheesy gubbins. See, the thing about these vending machines is, as you can see, they affect healthiness and toilet need, of course, but anytime you eat and drink, it'll do that. But these are less healthy options. We'll unlock healthier options down the line, but for now, we just need to cover food and drink needs. Why don't we go ahead and put some outside the lecture hall, perhaps? Right over here, maybe as you go in or as you're about to head out. Again, I think it's a decent location between classes, so you can grab a drink and a bite and be in a better mood. And it looks like we also need to get ourselves a janitor now and some bins. I was looking for the bins earlier. Here you can see there are a few different traits to compare. I guess we're being suggested this one with the boost maintenance speed, but this guy's got makes themselves smile, the plus 4% happiness as well, which makes them more efficient workers. As you can see, these guys on the topic of happiness are lining up for their goodies, and wow, I guess they were very hungry and thirsty. Let's go ahead and take the one being recommended here. Moves faster than most, toilet comfort decreases slower than most. Wants the old Jasmine back. Is this an Aladdin reference, or am I missing something here? Either way, go ahead and get you in, and let's go ahead and place a couple of bins as well. Why don't we go ahead and drop one? I mean, clearly people are making a mess over here. Let's drop one over here right by the entrance. That's one, and those bins are going to improve prestige as well. You can't see it on screen right now because we don't have those windows open, but you can trust me when I say that putting these bins down also helps with prestige and room rating and stuff like that. Put this bin down over here as this class begins. There we go. And I think that's everything. Yeah, that makes sense. Hopefully that's enough coverage. And we're waiting for the cinematography class to be passed with a grade of C+. The hope here is, of course, that these guys are happier now. And it seems to be the case, hopefully across the board, generally happier. Some of these guys are starting to get hungry and things like that, but as we get more control over the game, we're able to have more control over things like their mood and needs and stuff like that. It'll all come together. I just noticed his name, Alf Panther. That's a solid name. It'll all come together in due time. Is this guy falling asleep? Yeah, of course he is. Yeah, he's definitely passed out. He's not tired. He's not tired. He's just falling asleep in the front row. The gall on this guy. But yeah, again, there's some fun animations we can take a peek at as these guys are learning, and you can see again, no matter what type of class they're attending, whether it's a lecture or it's a, let's call it a practical course, they will be gaining XP, and it is influenced by their learning rate. And every time the circle fills up, they gain a level, and also every time the circle fills up, their grade changes. Or no, sorry, I was wrong. My apologies. Every time the circle fills up, they gain a level. Every time they finish a class, like when November ends, this class will be done, they will receive new grades. And that's not the only way to affect their grades. There are other ways that will unlock, well, some of them will unlock shortly, some of them will unlock in the next level. Why don't we go ahead and speed things up over here? These guys are almost done. You can see them leveling up, and every time they level up, we do gain some campus level points as well. I'm calling them points. I guess we could call them XP, but this bar fills up more and more, and that's another reason to have your students actually be well educated. Looks like these students did in fact manage to get their C+, and they're looking smarter already. Excellent. You receive tuition fees from all the students enrolled in courses at campus, as well as bonus for how much XP they're earning. As you can see, the bonus comes through, actually measured separately every time. Wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff. Waiting for our next objective in our inbox. All right, so every so often we'll be receiving mail and requests, and you know what? As much as I love the radio guy, he's getting in my way. All right, I hope the radio guy wasn't distracting for all of you as well for the early part of this episode. But yeah, I was starting to notice him a lot more. Anyway, satisfying students' needs is just one way to improve our grades, as this guy was saying again. So in our inbox, every once in a while, we'll be getting requests from students related to either their personal well-being, their social lives, or perhaps what their courses need from them. For example, their science course here actually needs them to go to a library and look at a bunch of books. So we need to get that library built. Let's go ahead and build the room. And sometimes you actually need to unlock things to respond to the requests. And unlocking things costs a different kind of currency, which again we'll get into when it becomes relevant. But for now, let's go ahead and put this library down. This is a nice spot for it, I think, kind of tucked away, a little far from the washroom, I'll be honest. But there's plenty more to put down as well. Sure, let's put this down over here. Get our door set down up over here, I think is fair. Let's put a bin down right by the entrance. Let's go ahead and say goodbye to our friend here. Bin goes down there, hand sanitizer down over here as you come through. We of course need a reception. Let's go ahead and pop you down. Let's pop you down like this. So the moment they walk in, Or let's put you down over here. So they've got the nice window right next to them, right? We can, of course, move the windows, but that one's like perfectly positioned. Let's put you down over there. A bit of room to walk around. Let's go ahead and put down some of these bookcases as well. Can't finish the room without them. And again, students will line up at the bookcases to actually pick up books and actually engage with their studies. So you do need more of them as your student body grows larger and larger. Let's get a textbook cubicle as well. We'll put the cubicles down on this end, I think. There are a few different varieties of cubicles, and there are more to unlock. This isn't all the buildings and items, by the way. There are many, many, many more to unlock based on the courses you're providing. Let's leave it at this for now, though. This might have been a bit too large, maybe, but it fit nicely, so how could I say no? We're done here. There's the library done. We need ourselves an assistant as well. These are the guys who actually manage the libraries. They also manage sort of food vending stalls and things like that, but for now, we're working on a librarian here, Agatha Rainbow or Alex Moon, a bin blindness, weak bladder, rapid, weak bladder, gross. Ooh, okay. Who do we have over here? Poor personal hygiene, and Chloe Massive, bin blindness. You know what? Of the lot, not only is Chloe Massive asking for the lowest salary, but I think she's got the fewest problems. Also, apparently, a blessing in disguise. So let's go ahead and pick you up and drop you off in there to work in the library. And students actually have to complete an assignment there now, so we'll wait for them to get on it. What are you? Oh, okay. I thought the smoke was coming out of this guy, and I was like, what are you doing on campus, buddy? Let's see. Everyone seems pretty happy. Socially introverted, a little shy, this guy. Learning rates are looking good, I think, overall. I mean, we can, of course, take a look at overall happiness as well. I think we're doing pretty well so far. Not going to get caught in the weeds. And here we go. So students have actually arrived at the library. They're going in, checking out books, literally and figuratively speaking, and you can see again now this is a different type of activity, but it is still, helping them with their scientography course. It is helping them earn levels, and you can see as this circle finishes, they level up. As this circle finishes, they will be gaining new grades as they complete their assignments. So any second now, there you go, gotten up to a B. Well done. And so you can see how being more engaged in courses will directly impact their how well they're doing and how well the university is perceived as a result as well. The interesting thing is some students are just not really into learning, and they're going to be a challenge to get them to learn. Apart from that, some students are also going to miss assignments because you didn't get a item built in time or a room built in time because you couldn't afford it. All those things do become challenges. Now, what's this guy up to right now? He is actually in the middle of fulfilling a personal goal. These are things that will sometimes come up in your inbox, and if you fulfill them, you actually make these students happier as well, because personal goals are a lifestyle-relevant sort of interaction, let's call it, and they can vary from the mundane to the, oh boy, I don't know an M word that means complicated. Complicated. But all right, we're done over here. We're waiting to get a B grade in the scientography class now. Now, this guy is actually over here. Should he not be in class? I hope you're not missing class, buddy. I can take a look at his calendar. And he is Tessa Mania. Or he is Tessa Mania. So no, you can see, again, classes are scattered between students, and it gets all the more complicated when you have more and more students. I mean, it gets pretty wild. It gets pretty wild, but there we go. Goal fulfilled over here. Happiness is creeping on upwards, and if we scroll down over here, you'll see they've fulfilled a personal goal, so they feel a little bit better about themselves. Good stuff. Good stuff. How these guys doing? Doing well, doing all right. This course will be done in a little bit of time, not too long. We could speed things up a little bit. I suppose actually, you know what I should do? Well, maybe I don't need to. But if we take a look at hygiene, you'll see that most of our students are actually pretty clean, and that's again because they're using the hand sanitizers. However, you know what's not clean are these beds and these washrooms. Why don't we go ahead and go off script as far as the game is concerned and get ourselves another janitor or perhaps two. Let's get you. You're a happy person, squeaky clean, dry mouth, lollygagger. That's not ideal, but let's get you in there. It's going to water the plant. And again, having dirty rooms or unwatered plants will reduce attractiveness, and that will hurt accommodation rating as well. So you want to be careful about your janitors being too lax, I suppose. On which note, let's go ahead and get another one that'll hopefully counter the slowness of the first one, or the second one technically, and get you in here to clean these toilets up. From C grade chumps to B minus grade brainheads. That's okay. Let's recap how you did it. Shall we? Sure. We educated, we nurtured, and we expanded. I understand. Good stuff. I think... Oh, okay, no. I was like, I think this is where the tutorial kind of ends for this level. There's a little bit more to go. We're going to be talking about Kudosh. Kudosh. I want to say Kudosh because it sounds like kudos, except with a sh sound, I guess. But that word sounds wrong, so I'm going to go with Kudosh. Kudosh is the type of currency I was referencing earlier, needed to unlock certain items. As you can see, they come with a Kudosh cost first, and once you pay that cost to unlock them, you will have access to them throughout your career. Like, so, you know, if we unlock something in this level, we'll still have access to it in the next level and the level after that, so on and so forth. But you can see, of course, you still have to pay money to actually put the unlocked item down. Where it becomes really challenging is, first of all, picking and choosing for extracurricular. For example, do I want to get a water cooler to give a healthier drink option and to help people develop friendships? Or do I want to, I'm not going to find it here because it'll be locked to a room. Do I want to save up and unlock for one of these various items that actually helps with learning and helps with... not just learning, but completing assignments. Some assignments need these items that are locked behind Kudosh. And as you can see, I wouldn't call it scarce, but it's not very common either. So if we're going to unlock something, why don't we go ahead and unlock... You know what? I'm going to unlock the water thing, the water cooler. The name was escaping me there. Let's unlock the water cooler, relatively cheap, and it does have some good value. Yes, please. Monthly profit was very low there. All the new salaries we're paying, well, at least they're being offset by the XP bonuses. Let's go ahead and help our students pass the year. Not long left. Let's get a water cooler outside, over here, I think, just outside the lecture hall. 5 students have a personal goal. They want to relax in a student lounge. All right, well, we'll get that set up for them shortly. Let's go ahead and get a water cooler. Maybe in the room as well is not a terrible... no, invalid room. All right, I had a feeling. I will go ahead and put it down just outside over here and put you down over here as well. People will socialize around the water coolers, which is why I wanted to have them. But as you can see, we have these secondary objectives being presented as well. And when we complete secondary objectives, we'll actually earn more Kudosh. And the same goes for some of these requests as well. Looks like we need a study cubicle. Let's go ahead and place that item. This won't earn us any Kudosh. This is just a requirement for our students to actually, you know, do what they need to do. Let's take a look at our inbox again. This is our financial statement. All good. Love bench wanted. I couldn't figure out why I was suddenly so nervous around my friend. Now I understand. Henrietta Belcher and Dave Rainbow want a love bench. Now here's an example of, you know, do we want to spend Kudosh on a love bench so people can be more than just good friends? And I'm going to go ahead and say, yes, it is you party after all, right? And that's for all kinds of parties. Let's go ahead and unlock and place and put the love bench down somewhere outside, I think. We got a decent park bench collection over here. Why don't we go ahead and put these down over here and over here. And yes, you can adjust, by the way, everything out here as well. We can redo the terrain, we can put down trees, we can put down paths and stuff like that as well. There's a lot of freedom with regards to the exterior of the buildings as well. But before I get distracted by that, let's close that inbox message. And what do we have here? Student lounge wanted. So I have, you know, I probably had a full year to respond to this request. It's not just Henrietta Belcher asking for this, but 4 other people too. And as you can see, this is a personal goal request, which means at least 5 students, you know, 1 plus 4, 5 students are going to be able to accomplish a personal goal if we, you know, do what they're asking us to do. In this case, build a student lounge. And as Henrietta says here, I've tried kicking back in every room on campus, but nothing is quite hitting the spot. I think we need a dedicated room for students to hang out, to relax, to lounge. I think you're right, Henrietta. Let's go ahead and build that student lounge. We're going to do it right next to the dorm. I'm almost tempted to have it be attached, to be honest. We also need a staff room, which I might put next to the library instead. So let's go ahead and get the... let's go ahead and get this down over here, maybe. There's no reason for that gap, really. I guess we could... Yeah, I guess we could attach it. I'm wondering about the showers as well. Like, here's what we'll do. We'll go ahead and put you down like so. 6 by 7? 7 by 7. Yeah, sure. Maybe a bit big. Let's go for it. 7 by 7. Get a door in there for sure, right down the middle here, because why not? And this is, again, an opportunity for healthier food and drink, though, of course, as you can see, it affects toilet need. We can also get a microwave in there to go nuclear and help with food. So, again, a good bit of variety in terms of ways to approach the various needs and wants of your students. Let's go ahead and put some couches down. Again, an opportunity for people to socialize. Let's go ahead and let's pick a nice little corner here, a little nook. Actually, do we have other colors? Ooh. Let's stick with our basic for now. Let's go ahead and do this kind of a thing. And how about one of these? Which one do I prefer? I kind of like this one. These wraparound chairs are always fun. I cannot have you in blue, sadly. All good. Pop you down over here as well. Let's go ahead and can I shift this window? I can. Right in the middle there. I think that's a nice chill space. We could actually replace it with a larger window. If I get rid of this one and get a large window in there. Beautiful. I think that'll be nice. So we got that going over there. Why don't we go ahead and get a space to prepare food. Get a sink. Rotate you. Get a sink down over here. Get this counter down over here. Have ourselves the microwave over here. Good stuff. Get the fridge down as well. Probably put you down like over here. Again, we need to leave some room to actually have our students be able to interact with stuff. So fridge down over here. And a hand sanitizer for sure. Next to the fridge. I think that makes sense. I'm like overdoing it for sure. We can, of course, also put down the vending machines and countless sources of entertainment too. Go ahead and make this place a bit more prestigious. There are some nicer chairs down here. Again, you can see, though, these things do cost more Kudosh. We do have the dartboard. That's always a fun time. Let's go ahead and put a couple of these down. And I think that's everything we need for now. I guess I could get some of these tables in for eating at. I'm definitely overdoing it. But hey, like I said, elite, right? Pop you down there, pop you down here, and a couple more. The year has ended. Oops, I was a little slow on getting this done. I should have paused. That's on me. All good, though. We finished the academic year. I was also playing a double time like a fool, I think. But I think we did well enough for all the necessities. We'll head on over to the award show now. Year 1 is complete. We can just skip past it all and just look at the overview, but let's go ahead and take a look at how we did. Pass rate at 100%. Average exam result is 85%. Yes, as you can see, you can have dropouts, you can have failures, and you can expel students as well. Moving on, we have got ourselves the award for academic excellence. Our average grade was A, average assessment score was 85%, and that gives us 10 Kudosh? I'll figure it out at some point. And $5,000 or whatever it's called in Universe. Good stuff. There's our overall details as well. This is the overview. One award won. There are many more that you can win. I think we did pretty well for our first year. And the award ceremony. And prepare for next year during summer break. Now, I love this ebb and flow of the game, basically. You have your, school year, and then you flip into summer break, which lasts as long as you need it to last. Students are there's no timeline anymore. Students are, able to shower. They're able to entertain themselves. You're able to build more stuff as well. You're able to hire, more teachers and things like that too. So why don't we go ahead and invest in the next year? What do we have here? A tree bench wanted. I'd have to unlock it with more Kudosh. I think I'm gonna ignore that. I know you want to be Giga Chums, but we're gonna ignore that for a bit because there might be more important things to spend the Kudosh on. Maybe I'm being a little too miserly, but we'll see. We'll see. Just because we're elite doesn't mean we bend to the will of every student at all opportunities. Let's get the shower room down over here. I think that makes sense. Pop the door down there, and again, much like the toilet cubicles, we have shower cubicles as well. Is it really cubicles in other parts of the world? I have only ever heard stall, but let's go ahead and pop a few of these down. There we go. Need some towels as well. 1, 2, 3. They can share one. Again, diminishing returns. What am I saying? We have money. Put a fourth one down. Basically makes no difference. We'll have a bin down by the shower over here. Let's go ahead and pause. Bin down over there. Let's go ahead and get hand san. No, we don't need the hand sanitizer in here. You've hopefully just cleaned up. But we do need some plants. Pop you down over there. A couple of you. There we go. No giant windows needed. Hopefully they're using their towels to dry off. I think this is everything we need. A decently prestigious shower room. Finish building that. quite like the look of it. You can customize your wallpapers and your flooring as well, but again, it costs Kudosh. So you really have to figure out what you want to focus on in terms of aesthetics versus function. And in terms of function, there's different subcategories of function. Now, we need to get a virtual normality course happening. That will require at least one additional room, and we also need a staff room, which was something I did not fulfill previously. So why don't we get the staff room built first so we know just how much room we're actually left with. 7 by 3 is a little big for the staff will be accommodating, I think, but why not? Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Let's go ahead and pop a door down over here, just let's lined up nicely. And yeah, let's get some couches down. Now this is where staff will come to, rest and re-energize. And if they're feeling tired, I believe they teach worse if they're feeling tired. And when they go to the staff room, the better the staff room is, the better it's like prestige and stuff, the more quickly they'll recover energy and the more quickly they'll be able to return to teaching. So you really want to make sure your staff room is decently, equipped to handle however many staff you actually have. And of course, the staff are allowed to have, darts and all as well to throw at the faces of the students they feel a certain way about. Let's put it that way. Can you imagine just studying over here and hearing the darts hitting the wall over here, wondering what's going on in the staff room? Every once in a while, creeping past this window, getting a peek in and going, wait, is that my face on the dartboard? I can imagine it. Let's go ahead and leave it at that decently. Again, prestigious. We could go higher. We didn't win like Campus of the Year. So I feel like we could have our rooms be a bit more prestigious, and it would help with that. But let's leave it at this for now. And why don't we go ahead and fix that blunder of mine by editing the room? And yeah, thank you very much. That'll be good. Yes. Please. And of course, oh my goodness, how did I? Don't mind me. That was entirely intentional to show you the edit room mechanic. Yes, that's what it was. Go ahead and scooch, buddy, over back to here. Actually get these guys in the corners. This staff room is way too big for what we actually need, I'll be honest with you, but you know what? It is what it is. That's that done. Let's go ahead and get ourselves another scientography teacher in a moment. Let's go ahead and manage our courses. This is an important thing between years, between school years, and this is where having your campus level go up is extremely important. There are I believe that might be the key way to earn course points, and course points are what you need to add new courses or to upgrade existing courses. We can't do the upgrading right now because it's locked for level 1, but if you upgrade the course, you're able to take on more applicants and students, and that means you're able to make more money as well. Let's go ahead and add a new course, though, because we need to get virtual normality. A new era of technology is here, and it's sure to redefine the way you think about goggles. Students can experience being where they're not, like never before. Discover new worlds or practice tying your shoes, all in the comfort and privacy of the virtual realm. Again, every type of class or every type of course will have a different average tuition fees, which you can adjust. They'll also have different durations, and they all get more complicated in later years. So if you're going to keep students on for a 3-year course, expect their demands to escalate over time. And we'll take a look at that in just a moment. You can also see it attracts different kinds of students depending on the course itself, and they all have different types of likelihoods of traits, wealth, behavior, what they might or might not want to do. But apart from that, here you can see requirements as far as, well, we need a virtual normality capable staff member, teacher. We also need a VR lab room, and you can see the kinds of assignments that might come out of this. And you can do that with the other course we have as well, scientography, and any other course as well, really. But just to give you a preview of what you're getting yourself into, and then finally you can see the classes. So first year, you can see we need a VR lab and a lecture hall. Second year, VR lab and lecture hall. Third year, okay, not the most complicated course to show as an example, but some courses will have different icons for multiple different kinds of rooms and spaces you'll need. Either way, let's go ahead and start this course. And if we can take a look at these settings over here, you'll see we are able to adjust tuition, though it will affect happiness. So you want to be careful about that. It'll also affect how many students will actually apply, how many students can actually afford to come to this school. But you can see if we go lower, we of course get access to more applicants up to a maximum, and students are happier about paying less. Obviously, that just makes complete sense. We're going to keep at the middle over here. We don't need I think our students are happy enough as they are. We also need that tuition money. So let's go ahead up a little bit more. What was it, 75? Yes, so plus 0%. We can also reduce our student intake. So yes, there will be 10 applicants, but we don't want to let all of them in. Only the best will come through. So if we reduce student intake, you can see the average learning rate of the students that are actually coming in is going to be higher. So that means we'll get more income bonus from the XP they gain a little bit faster. But we're not going to get into that right now. We might consider that for future levels. For now, we'll take in all the applicants and keep a regular tuition fee. Just wanted to show you all the mechanics on that front as well. And here you can see as well for courses you are already running, how many you have in each of the years of the course. And again, some of the details we saw earlier are included here as well as your actual, history with the course, or rather your students' history with the course too. But let's apply these changes, not that there were any, and confirm this as well. And again, we can go back to scientography. And here, actually, we should be able to see, this is also a relatively simple course, not as much variety of rooms needed, which makes sense. It is an early level, an introductory course. Here as well, of course, we can adjust tuition fees and applicants and intake, but we're going to leave it as is. Go ahead and confirm that. And you can see we get a little warning as to what we need for next year's campus with the courses that we're going to be providing. So let's confirm that. And now you can see the campus requirements have actually increased. And it's time to expand our campus. I feel like this is a nice plot. I also don't mind this one. It's closer. Again, remember, students actually have to travel. This one might be the better one because it is closer to their lecture hall over here, closer to the washroom. I might build a second washroom in this room, actually. The dorm is getting kind of far. There's also this plot up over here, but that one's really far away. There's like this whole walk you have to do. I don't think that's the right call for an early expansion, though. We could get these two back to back if we wanted to. However, let's go ahead and pick this plot over here. And seems I cannot buy it empty. In the future, you are able to buy plots empty if you want. It's a bit cheaper, but it doesn't come with any actual structures in it, so you have to actually build the outer walls of your building. But here instead, sure, we'll go ahead and buy it with buildings. It'll take some time, so we'll hit play. It'll take some time to actually build the structure and claim the plot for ourselves. Everything you see here will be demolished. Well, you're seeing it happen right now. It will all get demolished and replaced by a new structure, one that we have full control over, with a plot that we can actually rename as well. So again, like I was saying, if you want to name wings and things like that, maybe we'll get into it. Y'all let me know what you think about that down below. And I'll take it all into consideration. I always do if you're new to the channel, just to let you know, I read all of the comments. Even if you're watching this like 10 years after this episode released and you leave a comment, I will read it. I will. So don't hesitate to share your thoughts and feelings about this episode and what you'd like to see in future episodes down below. But that's that done. Good stuff. Let's not get school started just quite yet. We need a second lecture theater, and we need a second scientography teacher and a virtual normality teacher as well. Let's go ahead and get our teachers first. We have, so you are, what is this? This is comic relief, comic timing, a chance to provide comic relief, which makes people happy and entertained. I think that is a good call. Let's go ahead and hire you and pop you down over here. We need a second lecture theater and a VR lab. All right, let's go ahead and get the virtual normality teacher as well. This guy keeps himself happy. The rest are, let's take a look at their reference here, right? A dry mouth, weak bladder versus rapid and dry mouth and run-of-the-mill. Let's go ahead and take this Wendy picture over here, right? You pop you in over here. Again, a little far from the staff room, but they'll be okay, I think. And let's build our lecture room. Again, I could adjust this. I can change this if I want to, but we'll leave it be for now. Let's get a lecture hall up over here, maybe lecture hall here. Let's get a lecture hall here and a VR lab here. So VR lab first, because then maybe they can use this lecture hall instead. Yeah, go ahead and pop you down like so. So right as you walk in, it's a pretty large VR lab. You can see the prestige difference is massive by going over. Oh, every little step makes such a big difference. Let's go with this. Sure, and we'll customize it to make it fancier. Put the door right over here, so as you come in, you can pop in. This is the mainstay of this room. Go ahead and pop you down like this, right in the middle, because why not? Hopefully not super inconvenient. Holding down control lets you precise place, by the way. So if you want to get really particular, you can, and I do over here. So we'll pop you down there, and let's go ahead and get, we don't need anything else but some of these things will help with learning power or will help with completing assignments and things like that. Ooh, that's a nice curved display. Pop you down over there. Let's get the VR chair down over here. That kind of makes sense. Have ourselves a nice bin set up over here as well. Let's get ourselves a couple of planters. Can never have too many planters. And of course, hand sanitizer. The shower replacement of this universe, I suppose. But I think that that's enough for now. Again, we could take it up a notch. Let's go ahead and put one more of these down over here. Can't repeat too much. And why not the VR headsets? Again, it helps with learning power, which means students will actually perform better with having access to this tool. So let's put these down over here, right next to where the sanitizer is. I think that kind of makes sense in universe, right? And let's go ahead and build that VR lab. And let's go ahead and get these guys their lecture theater as well. Again, we can be pretty tight with these. Let's do this. Let's do that. Go ahead and put the actual lectern stage. What's it called? Lectern. Yes, down over here. We'll get the seating up over here. This is a very tight fit. I get the door over here. So again, you have to sneak past the professor. It can have multiple doors if we want to, but I do not. And let's unlock the auto cue. Put words in your mouth. This will increase learning power. It's 75 Kudosh, but I think it's worth it because we can put it in all of our lecture halls moving forward. Again, anything we unlock here stays unlocked for future levels too. Pop it down like that, sure. Go ahead and get a couple of plants in here. Again, make it a nice lecture hall, right? Pop you there. Can we fit another one in here? No, we can fit another one in here though. There we go. Can't reach that one to water it. Fair enough. Whoops. Hold on. No. No. Try and move you away. There we go. There we go. Nice and easy. Fixed, fixed. Not have you in the middle of the road though. Put you over here, sure. That's nice enough. We've got a bin in here. We do not. So let's get a bin right by over here. So if you're coming through, you know, you can get rid of your junk before you sit down, or get rid of all your notes on your way out. And let's get a whiteboard up as well. Right back over here, where the projection will go. Helps the prestige just a little bit, but we'll leave it at that. Done. Let's begin the next academic year, shall we? Or perhaps we wait until next time. Folks, I like to keep episodes about an hour long. I was thinking we'd be able to finish this level in one sitting, but as you can see, they do get rather large and complicated, and we haven't even gotten into the stars yet. That'll come next. There is a bit more to do in this level, and I am excited to get into it all, and hopefully y'all are as well. Again, the next episode will be releasing tomorrow. If you want to stay up to date with all the releases on the channel, of course, don't hesitate to subscribe. If you enjoyed this session, leave a like, leave a comment down below. Let me know how I can maybe improve the viewing experience. If you feel like some things could have been done a bit better, I'm always open to feedback, and if you had a good time, feel free to let me know that as well. Positive feedback, constructive criticism, it's all welcome in the comments. Apart from that, of course, yes, like I was saying, an episode will be releasing every day until the game itself actually releases next week, and we're going to be making a fair bit of progress. Again, this episode had a bit of explaining and just learning, I suppose, and sharing all the mechanics and systems, just trying to explain, you know, how things work or don't work, sometimes going beyond maybe what needs explaining at the very moment, so I apologize for that, but I think future episodes will certainly move a fair bit faster. We might introduce time lapses for when I'm planning out buildings and rooms that we're already, you know, kind of familiar with. So things will, the pace will pick up, and I'm also looking forward to hearing your thoughts with regards to, yes, naming wings and students and staff. We did a lot of that stuff with Planet Zoo on the channel, and I think I might engage with some similar stuff because that was a lot of fun back then, and I think it'll be a lot of fun here as well. Again, folks, if you had a good time, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know if you're excited for more. Don't hesitate to subscribe for more. I've got an interesting sort of guide video releasing for 2 Point Campus as well for when the game actually releases, and you can find that again on Twitter, in the Discord linked below, or of course, like I was saying, by subscribing. Enough about that though, folks. As always, a massive thanks goes out to all of the channel members and patrons who've been supporting the channel on a monthly basis. Y'all keep us alive and running smoothly. And of course, a big ol' thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, which is tomorrow, cheers.